What's up, everybody? Welcome to the LFG Cast, episode 8, volume 2, because we tried recording this the first time and it didn't really work so well. I am your host, Phantom, joined with me as always by my co-host, Hell's Purge.
Hello, lovely humans of the world.
And just as a quick heads up, if you're listening to this on YouTube or watching it on Anchor, we record this live every Thursday on twitch.tv/PhantomKingX. Link is down in the description below if you guys want to come up and check it out with us. Tech troubles are the true bane of our existence. Oh, you don't even know, Leech Man. So tonight's episode is about delays, because there have been a lot of delays in video games recently. And funny enough, Hell's Purge already has a list for us to tell us what games are delayed. Now, before we get into that, delays are kind of a topic of contention between fans, especially based franchise to franchise. So if there's a particular franchise, they delay the next installment, some fans feel really attacked and hurt and are like, man, this sucks. Why? Give me the game. Where other fans sit back and they're like, no, this is cool. It means the game might be a little bit better when it comes out. And this plays into the DLC talk we had last week. So let's jump right into it. So right off the bat, Purge, what games are being delayed as of right now?
So okay, my mic isn't muted. Wow.
No, you're good. I hear you.
What a night. So the games that I have currently on my list, I'll probably look into it more afterwards. But Watch Dogs Legion, Cyberpunk 2077, Dying Light 2, Marvel's Avengers, and the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah,
are all delayed.
A lot of big AAAs. The Marvel one, I think, was the first announced. I'm
pretty sure that got announced in December.
I didn't even know Watch Dogs Legion got delayed. To be 100% honest,
got scrapped.
I remember E3 happened and then I heard nothing, and I was like, "What?" Because the trailers for it were funny as hell. The dude's teaching a class on how to be a hacker. I still got to play Watch Dogs 2 because I enjoyed the first one a little bit. Now, did any of those developers give reasoning as to why their game was delayed? Do you know off the top of your head?
Cyberpunk 2077 and Dying Light are the only ones that I could find solid concrete reasons why. And I mean, they both boil into the same category of they feel that the time window they had wasn't enough and they didn't want to ship out an unfinished project. So they're taking time to take a step back, polish things that need to be polished, make sure everything's concise and how they want it to be. Stories are complete, not half-assed. And they want to make sure that they're shipping out something that they're going to be proud of instead of something that they're going to get backlash for, hated for, and just stomped on.
So I think that was the same or very similar reasoning as to why Cyberpunk got delayed. I think. I'm not entirely sure. Is my mic set to the right? Oh my god. Tonight's a nightmare. But yeah, so as a fan, how do you feel about that delay?
On the Cyberpunk side, I don't really mind too much because it's kind of the first, at least I think it is, it's the first in its series. So I don't mind because I haven't played it before, so I don't know what to expect.
It's the first modern iteration of the series. I'm pretty sure there was a point and click game, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of tabletop games based around it. I think so. There's lore and there's somewhat of an established plot, but this is the first time it's coming into the modern era, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know Watch Dogs got, I know I said that before, but I didn't even know Watch Dogs got delayed. Final Fantasy VII
I didn't either.
Came out as a bit of a shock. And Cyberpunk I saw on Instagram, Dying Light 2, right?
Yeah.
Dying Light 2 I saw on Instagram. Now, so the big question, and we got a quote, Leechman in chat says, Shigeru Miyamoto once said, a delayed game is good eventually, a rushed game is bad forever. or something like that. That's not entirely wrong. How many rushed games have come out that are dog doo-doo?
About 95%.
Right? And those games tend to be the ones that we talked about last week, where they just kind of push DLC down your throats because they couldn't finish the game in time, you feel?
Yeah, like half the DLC should have just been in the base game to begin with.
Unique wants me to tell YouTube and Anchor that he's been quoted in our chat by saying, I want to taste the balls. So thanks for that clip, Unique. We're going to put that all over the internet for you. Sonic 06, Leechman says, yes, Sonic 06 was a completely rushed game, and it's a garbage mess. Another Sonic game that comes to mind was, I don't think it was rushed, but Sonic Forces apparently only had two developers on it for level design. And it apparently took 4 years to make, and it doesn't feel like that, from what I've heard. But overall, how do you feel about delays generally? And this goes for everyone in chat too. So if you guys wanna answer, you can answer in chat. If you guys wanna, come on Discord, you can come on Discord. But Purge, while we do that, how do you feel about them generally?
If it's on like the base game side of things, like the game isn't even released yet, like I understand, cool. You do you, make sure it's something you're proud of. But if it's on like the DLC side of things where you've already given out like a roadmap, like Destiny is a good example of like Bungie is like a good company that I can think of off the top of my head that like gives out roadmaps for their stuff, or Ubisoft does this with Rainbow Six. Like they'll give out roadmaps so you know what to expect for the next like year. So like if you give out this roadmap and then it starts getting close to the time where like said DLC is gonna come out, and then you just like, oh, we're gonna delay it. Like I kind of feel like you weren't, I mean, in a way you weren't really happy with what you were producing, and you're kind of trying to cover your ass.
Right. Now, see, with me, it depends. Like you said, if it's like a baseline game, like it's the first title you're releasing, or even if it's not a baseline game, if it's a title you're gearing up to release, and you're getting near that window, and you do not feel confident releasing the game yet, don't release the game. Like, I'll take the delay 100%. I think Kingdom Hearts 3 was delayed, and like I was bummed when that happened, but I didn't really mind because I'd rather it be polished. But yeah,
from what I've heard, that game is like amazing.
Kingdom Hearts 3? I don't know if I like it more than Kingdom Hearts 2. It's a phenomenal game, and I can't wait to play the DLC in a couple minutes when we get to it. But my one thing is, like, I love the fact that the worlds are way more open and they feel more like sandboxes. But I personally still wish there were more worlds. Like, I thought I personally would have liked to see more worlds, but I understand limitations and stuff like that. Now, so we got somebody in chat. Leechman again says he's fine with delays. I'm going to read this in his first person. I'm fine with delays since I have plenty of content to be entertained, but the issue comes with the developers undergoing crunch. Cyberpunk's devs admitted their employees will have to do some overtime and crunch to get the game ready for the new release date, and that's unfortunate. What can make or break any product, game, show, etc. is an organized production schedule. Really crucial for producers to be on top of things. I think that's 100% right, and to give credit to that, look at Anthem. Like,
oh,
I know,
we
got to. No, we have to, because Anthem is a perfect example. Oh, this seltzer water is just starting to taste like Alka-Seltzer now, so I think I'm done with it for the night. Anthem they were in so much crunch time. Mass Effect Andromeda was in so much crunch time. Like, it was, That's one of the reasons. I mean, Anthem's main problem is that the developers didn't know what they wanted to be, and they kept getting false information from their heads up. But Anthem should have been delayed into the void. I mean, I don't think Anthem should have been delayed into the void. I think it should have been delayed to become what they promised. You know, because they pushed marketing for Anthem hard. They released that merch. They had their logo. It looked really cool. The white with the rainbow color, kind of like the Instagram filter. Do you think Anthem would have fared better if it wasn't delayed? If it was delayed, rather.
If it was delayed at least between like 4 and 6 months so they could actually get their head on straight, they could have had a great game. It would have been great. They had a great concept to it, but with what they shipped out, once you finished the campaign, you were just stuck in what I had talked about last week, just your loot run. You were just stuck in this rut, and you were just going around and around and around.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't really an endpoint to it, which burned a lot of people out real fast.
Right. That's how I feel with Destiny a little bit, at least for the time being, because I haven't sat down and just picked one thing to do. I'm always trying to do multiple things.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think I'm hardwired to do that, multitask. In a game like Destiny, I'd rather just focus on one thing and just do it until it's done and then focus on another thing. But that's just me. I think I agree with you. I think Anthem would have fared better. Unique Rainbow says, if I pre-ordered a game and get hyped, I'm mad if it's delayed. Fallout 76, I wanted it to be delayed. I enjoyed it, though. That's another game. I think Fallout 76 was delayed. I think it would have fared a lot better than it did. I know they had a new studio working on it, but I personally still think that if it had a delay, it would probably be a little bit better than it was.
I mean, I haven't played it yet. I mean, I'll get there eventually, but from what I understand, the only big issues that I could understand they had was in the multiplayer aspect.
It was
like a major degree.
Well, it wasn't just that. When the game launched, it was unplayable. The biggest meme is you go around and you see someone using the soundbite of Todd Howard going 16 times the detail, 16 times the definition. It just works. And they splice that over a clip of the game bugging out. And yes, games have bugs and online games have bugs. We all know this. But this was to the point where the game, for some people, was unplayable. Fallout 76 still does quote-unquote work. I mean, yeah, it works. I can go and boot it up and I can play it. But there was a point where you logged into the game, you got kicked out of the server. Now, that's not technically a development issue per se, but that's a server issue. That's something that maybe a little more playtesting or maybe a little more time in the oven, they could have been like, hold on, the servers aren't really strong enough to handle all this. Let's see what we can do to bump that up. So I think Candace Sun says, hot take, Fallout 76 works, but it's a looter shooter, repair, and muter. Or mutter. I don't know what that last word's supposed to be. But yeah, I'm not gonna knock the gameplay. It's Fallout if Fallout tried to be Destiny. And as in a different discussion, I think that's why Fallout 76 does not have the same charm as even Fallout 4. That's a discussion for another time and another day, maybe when Wastelanders comes out. All right, so I think we've agreed game delays can be a good thing. They can be a bad thing. I think the bad thing is more subjective. I think overall game delays tend to be more of a good thing if the finished product is, great and phenomenal.
Yeah, if they actually take their time to do what they said they were going to do.
Yeah. Now, my question to you is, how do you feel about delayed DLC? Because that's another side of the spectrum. And chat, how do you guys feel about delayed DLC? Now, it could be from both sides. The game was really good, and it had DLC that's getting delayed for X, Y, and Z reason. The game was garbage, and this DLC that's supposed to fix it is getting delayed for X, Y, and Z reason.
mean, if there's enough, like, either base game content to go do or, like, previous DLC to go do,
Hmm.
and they delay it, I mean, cool, you do you. But if you're, like, shipping out, like, a base game, and then the DLC is supposed to launch, like, a month or two after the base game releases, say, and
Right.
then you delay it, like, sure, that's not, like, the greatest thing. I mean, most people probably won't have the game finished by then, so maybe
Mhm.
that's why they decided to, oh, we can do this. But also, like, saying you're gonna have it out on a certain date, and then it gets close to that window, and then you're just like, oh no, we're gonna move it.
Right.
That's not the greatest practice to have.
I think like last minute delays like that are what angers people the most.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's like, if they're like, hey, this is our projected date that's 6 months away, and in a month or two they're like, listen, we don't think we can hit that date, we're gonna push it back another couple of months. We got some people in chat that wanted to say some things. Candace-san says Pokemon Sword and Shield should have been delayed, to be honest. If it makes the experience better, then yes, a delay should happen. Leechman says, great example with Pokemon Sword and Shield. In terms of games rushed to meet a deadline, Pokemon's production schedule has been compromised over the years. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's definitely something that can be a big old problem. And then Unique says, I'm fine with delayed DLC. If I enjoy it enough, I get DLC. It's my issue. Okay. So yeah, I think if you're delaying it for the fact of, hey, we realize we didn't give ourselves enough time, that's fine. But I also agree with you, Purge, where, especially with games as a service nowadays, if you're delaying DLC that's supposed to replenish the content drought, and you're delaying it, and you're leaving your players with really nothing to do, that is very frustrating for players, and we've seen that with Destiny. God, remember back in D1? Remember all the time we had between the Taken King and the April update? Which is no content? Yeah. I mean, there was content, but all the hardcore people finished it.
Yeah, I had that done in, like, maybe a week.
Yeah, so I think overall, let's run down final thoughts. So most people say delays can be a good thing, and I think overall, is that how you're gonna stand? Are you gonna plant that flag?
Yes, I do have, like, a tiny jumping off point.
Okay.
Like, saying, like, games as a service, like, branching from that for, like, streamers, like, full-time streamers, like Broman, Gathalion, Char, like, all of them. Like the partnered streamers and like
Mtashed,
like,
True Vanguard,
like use it as like their like livelihood basically. Like if companies delay DLC, I mean 9 times out of 10 they'll probably have a backup plan, but like if one of them doesn't, that's costing them like part of their paycheck.
they gotta
so
scramble.
Then they have to scramble to try and find something else to fill that time window.
Typically from what I've seen is those kind of streamers, they're always doing something else. What's up, Gamer Benny? Welcome to the podcast. Those kind of like Gathalion and Broman and Tim, they all have something else they play. Like I know Broman just did The Witcher 3. Then he has like he goes back and plays Monster Hunter. But you know, I can agree that in the age of streaming and content creation, if you're a one-trick pony and all you play is one game that's like a game as a service and they delay an update, you're kind of beat. I'm not going to necessarily put that on the developers though, because you know, it's not the developer's responsibility to make sure streamers have content to play. You know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense? Like, yes, it's the developer's responsibility to put out a game and to, if they want to update that game live, to update it live. But it's not the developer's job to be like, oh shit, streamers aren't going to have anything to play. Let's rush this DLC out instead of taking time to finish it. You know what I mean? Purge? Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
My mic was muted. But like, say, like for an analogy, we could take like a casino as like the gaming industry, and like you're a customer going into the casino as like a streamer, You go to the roulette table and you put all of your money, i.e. all of like your prep time and stuff, into this DLC. So like you're putting all of your money on like red 6.
Okay, all right, I see what you're saying.
The ball goes around, it hits black 1. You didn't have a backup plan for that.
So you're saying
and now
like
you're out of this like content.
So you're saying like say there's like a big like revamp of Destiny, kind of like with Forsaken, and like people did all this prep time making sure their vault was clean, making sure they did any side quests, any missions, got any exotics, so they had like a free schedule to play Forsaken. And you're saying, what if Bungie was just like last minute, like a month before, they're like, yeah, Forsaken's like, we're not releasing Forsaken for like 2 months after the original release date. So I can understand, like, that's very frustrating, and I can definitely see why that would suck, and that comes down to why delays can be bad. As a general standpoint, like, I still stand by it, like, listen, if a developer's gonna delay a game, that sucks. But at the end of the day, would I rather a rushed, unfinished DLC product game, or would I rather bite the short-term bullet to have a greater long-term experience? Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I personally feel about it. That's my take on everything. So I think overall delays are situational. If done the right way and in necessity, a delay can be a very good thing for a game. If done the wrong way and done as a last minute thing because they didn't realize they needed it, I think it could scorn gamers and affect sales and ratings of games. That's my final thoughts on the matter. Do you happen to have any final thoughts before we close out the show?
I mean, delays aren't necessarily like good or bad, as long as like you don't put all of your eggs in one basket. Because if a developer delays something, normally they have their reasons for it. Like, being like the consumer, you don't exactly know what's going on behind the scenes, so you don't know what like kind of time constraints they're under, or like if like say a file got deleted and they need to go redo it. Like, you don't know what issues they're facing. So like at face value you think it's bad, but it could be beneficial in the long run. So I mean, kind of take every delay with a grain of salt. You don't know what's going on. I think that's fair. So with all of that being said, I think that's gonna wrap it up for episode 8. Purge, thank you for coming on and having this discussion with me. Not a problem.
Thank you to everyone in chat, which you can see over there. I'm getting used to this camera. Thank you to everyone in chat for giving us your opinions and your thoughts. And if you at home want to be featured on the podcast, again, the link is in the description, but every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/PhantomKingX. I've been Phantom. That's been Purge. That's been Chat. Don't forget to hit the like button, click the subscribe button if you want to see more podcast episodes and more videos like this, and leave a comment down below or somewhere else on the internet. What your thoughts on not DLC, that was last week. What your thoughts on game delays are. And until next time, don't forget to lift, feast, game. Oh wait, I forgot. Purge, let everyone know where they can find you. And we'll do the outro.
YouTube, Mixer, Twitter, Hell's Purge. The little picture avatar thing should be a little dude in a hoodie with jeans, boots, and bloody playing cards with a surgical mask on.
And what is that? Mixer.com /
Hell's Purge.
There you go. I think I did it right. Okay. And with all that being said, we will catch you guys next week for another episode of the LFG Cast. In the meantime, don't forget to lift, feast, and game. We'll see you next time.